Hi, this is Rebecca Delosier, and this is a tutorial on using Note Anytime on your iPad. So this is the app that I'm talking about. It's called Note Anytime. It's free on the Apple Store. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to the root menu, and I'm going to show you how you would create a document. So once you're in the app, you go ahead and just click Create Note. And then it's going to give you the option of what type paper you would like. So we'll just go ahead and select this lined paper for screen, and it just takes you into a blank screen. And I'm going to take my stylus and scribble on the page, and you'll see that it just goes ahead and scribbles, and that doesn't really look like it's that exciting, because how do you do anything else to it? So go ahead and click on that right there, and that opens up all of your control panels. So I'm going to go up here and click on Undo. And then you'll see that I have here a text tool. And so if I click on the text tool, it gives me some text options. I have an eraser tool, so I have different width erasers. I have a pen tool, and you can set the pens to be different pens. So I can change the to a calligraphy pen, a dotted line. I can change the width of my pen, the opacity of my pen, and the color of my pen. And then I also have a cut tool, and actually I'll show you how the cut tool works. So let's say that I scribbled and then I wanted to go ahead and move that. I could go ahead and put it over there. If I wanted to turn it, I could turn it, and then when you're done you just do that. Now obviously I don't want that there because that's a scribble, so I will just go ahead and remove that. But this is a really nice app because it has this zoom in option for handwriting. So let me show you what I just did there. Down at the bottom there's a rectangle that has a plus sign in the center. So that is the zoom in option. And when you zoom in, what it does is it creates this box. Okay? And this box right here is being reflected, this box right here is being reflected down here. So you write down here and it shows up wherever the box is. So you could put the title of your notes. And then you could go ahead and you just move the box down by dragging the box, and then you could take notes on whatever. And you can go ahead and you can highlight over those notes, or if you wanted to, you could erase those notes, and that's pretty simple. So you can close that section by just clicking on the down arrow right there, and then this tool right here is a palm rest. So let's say I didn't want to use the zoom in, but I wanted to go ahead and draw a picture in that section. So let's say that I wanted to write the equation for, oh, by the way, this moves around, so when it gets in your way, you can just drag it. Let's say I wanted to write the equation for photosynthesis. So I could write H2O plus CO2 in the presence of light yields oxygen. Oops, I don't want that, so I'll just remove that. See, there's an undo right up here. There's an undo. Yields oxygen plus, oh, I don't have any space, so I will go ahead and I'll click on my lasso cut tool, and I'll just drag that over a little bit, and then I'll switch back to my pen, and yields C6H12O6. So that's a pretty nifty little tool, and you can go ahead and you can draw this into Cornell Notes. There's actually a paper option that you can use that looks a bit more like Cornell Notes. You can add more pages to your notebook. This one looks a bit more like Cornell Notes right here. This one right here looks more like Cornell Notes. It also just looks like lined paper. And then there's some basic ones down here that look kind of like thinking maps. We've got some Venn diagrams, some axes, grid paper. all sorts of different paper. But one of the things that I like the most about this is, let's say I'm done with this, okay, and I have a PDF that I need to access. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to my home screen, and I'm going to go into my Google Drive. Go into my Google Drive and I'm going to find a PDF, any PDF. I like this one, so I'll just click on that one. And my PDF is open. You can see that I've actually played with it a little in this application before. And I'm going to go right here to that symbol, and it's going to give me the option to open in. So I'm going to select open in, and I'm going to select open in Note Anytime. And if I click open in Note Anytime, it's going to convert it to a PDF and it's immediately going to open it. Now this is very small. I could turn the iPad to portrait style and you'll see it switches, but that actually looks really terrible on a video. So what you can do is you can two-finger pinch out and you can actually make this larger. So you can just zoom out and zoom in as much as you want on it. And there's my little eye closed right there on top of the hat. It's kind of hiding there. But I'll open my PDF. So if I had this is actually an assignment I give my students, and they go out into the hallway and they take a probe and they go out and they record the motion, and they have to create a graph. So if the graph looked like that, then they would just go ahead and draw that on there, and then it says describe the graph, so they would describe the motion. And then they could scroll down and they could do a different graph. And then you see down at the bottom there's pages, so they could go to the next page and they could write the answers to interpret their labs. They can do their math. They can fill in any worksheets that you would normally have them do. You could have them fill them in using this, and then what they can do is they can actually take this worksheet, because this is what we just filled in, and they can move it into a notebook that's just for your class. But this is the coolest part. You can go right here to this arrow, and you can go and you can send it as an email, so they can submit it to you through email, or they can send it to an application. And what I like to have mine do is to send it to as a PDF and send it back into Google Drive or into Evernote. This takes a second to open, so we'll wait for it to open back up. So they can go ahead, and once it comes up, they'll get this menu option that says up. So when you go back, here it is. This is the one that we've edited. It should have the lines on it, whereas the other ones didn't. So there you go. And they can go ahead and they can share this with you by just going to that arrow and then sharing it. So they can add, whoever has access, they can actually add your email address there and it will email it to you directly, but they also have it saved in their Google Drive. So it's a pretty powerful tool.